Hello everybody, and welcome back to LELB Society here in our YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Aditi and I'm the creator of LELB Society, and in this session I'm going to give you some information about portfolio assessment. And the title of this article is Portfolio Assessment in Education, which could bring more learner autonomy and also some other qualities. And the link to this article will be shared with you in the description area. If you just go to the description area right down below, you will find the link, and also here is the table of contents. And okay, so now what is portfolio assessment in education? Okay, so a portfolio is a collection of documents, files, and materials to prove or disprove student development and growth in education over time. Being a type of alternative assessment, there's been an upward trend in using portfolio assessment in education, namely experimental science, mathematics, social studies, and second language learning or acquisition. And using portfolio assessment in education to increase student motivation, engagement, and autonomy. Using portfolios in education is on the ground of formative assessment, which is the opposite of summative assessment, or continuous assessment, which is the opposite of summative assessment based on final examinations or product-oriented approach to education. And it means that instead of estimating a student's true knowledge in final exams at the end of the term, his or her competency is gradually but more accurately assessed during the term. And as you can see, there are so many hyperlinks in this article, and I'm going to share the most important of all with you in the description area, so that actually you can expand your learning with those links. Okay, so let's focus on the advantages of portfolio assessment in education. In this section of this article, I'm going to enumerate or make a list of some of the most important advantages of applying portfolio assessment in education, with a particular emphasis on second language learning or teaching. And the first advantage is authentic assessment based on real-world tasks. And it means portfolio assessment in education is based on authentic assessment, or the practice of student evaluation via the completion of real-world tasks, in which students are required to apply the acquired skills and knowledge to the learning process. And also, authentic or alternative assessments, as opposed to traditional assessment, can increase more motivation in students because content-based instruction, or CBI, is centrally practiced. And CBI is another pillar of LELB Society methodology. And remember, through alternative assessment and let's say continuous assessment, particularly portfolio assessment, students feel that they are getting better and better. They're making some improvements. And so developing a growth mindset, as a matter of fact, in students through portfolio assessment in education. Therefore, the employment of portfolio assessment in education can encourage students to develop a growth mindset. Because students realize that their abilities to learn are plastic. It means not static but dynamic, and not fixed. For this reason, if they fall behind the schedule or curriculum, they still have this chance to compensate for their weaknesses or imperfections, which is not the case in summative assessment or actually product-oriented approaches to assessment or measurement through final exams. They also develop this metacognition or reflectiveness to identify their weaknesses and imperfections, which is prior to any compensation. So first, in order to compensate for something, at least you need to recognize the areas in which you are weak. And the second advantage, practice writing through portfolio assessment, particularly in the field of second language acquisition. Okay, one of the best applications of portfolio assessment in education is practicing writing, especially in the realm of second language acquisition. I need to just correct this word. There has been a typo here. That is realm. So all the language products can perfectly be archived and assessed during the lengthy developmental stage that language learners go through. At LELB Society, as a bilingual academy of English and Persian, our students practice essay writing in both English and Farsi through asynchronous learning. And so if you just study our article on LELB Society methodology, you will understand that asynchronous learning, flipped learning, content-based instruction, and portfolio assessment, these are the basic ingredients of our methodology. Writing practice through portfolio assessment in education. Okay, the category of IELTS essay writing practice in our online community includes approximately 2,330 essays submitted to us by our students. Checking this category or portfolio of essays, you can realize that we have thoroughly evaluated our students' performance. LELB Society students are expected to review their previous essays in their portfolios before composing new essays. So before writing new essays, they just brush up the previous essays submitted by them to us in order to learn from their mistakes. As a matter of fact, those essays are compiled and organized in their portfolios. Okay, this approach has helped them tremendously learn from their own and other students' mistakes to improve their writing skills. Okay, and the third advantage of using portfolios, more motivation for learning through portfolio assessment. Portfolio assessment in education is based on cumulative effect, because the more students compile high-quality completed tasks in their portfolios, the more they get motivated, or the more motivated they get. It's better to put it that way. Okay, as a matter of fact, portfolios provide progressive snapshots of students' knowledge, performance, and development during the term. And these are some hyperlinks, or let's say external links to external sources. If you just click on them, you will find some dominant and prestigious websites and reliable sources of information. When students notice that they are getting better and better exponentially, they become more motivated to develop their best, both to their own learning and the social context in which learning takes place. This sense of belongingness is absolutely crucial for the realization of social presence in online learning. It is interesting to note that even the team of authors, teachers, and content developers at the LELB Society is creating portfolios of their completed works, teachings, articles, etc. Because our online community is actually a wiki of thousands of premium lessons and videos based on asynchronous learning. Therefore, each team member becomes more motivated to improve their own portfolio or resume. For example, check Dr. Muhammad Hussein Hariri Asl's portfolio or resume at the LELB Society, which consists of over 4,100 or 4,100 posts and pages in both English and Farsi. Okay, so the use or employment of portfolio assessment is also applicable not only to actually students, but also to educators, teachers, content developers, etc. Authors also. Okay, portfolio assessment equals more learner autonomy. Portfolio assessment requires students to take active and responsive roles in education. Students are encouraged to evaluate their own performance frequently. This happens because students are provided with the autonomy to chase the curriculum objectives in an active fashion. As a result, students will become less teacher dependent and more reflective and self-evaluative. Constructivism in education is one of the ingredients of a LELB society methodology, according to which students acquire knowledge by experiencing and constructing it in an active manner, rather than receiving knowledge passively from the teacher. LELB society's English and Persian students are inspired to experience constructivism in learning because of the following. 1. Our online academy is a wiki of thousands of premium lessons and videos that is course casting. And consequently, our students' academic needs are fairly satisfied. 2. LELB Society has the most comprehensive visual dictionary and thesaurus of advanced and academic vocabulary with pictures used in real context. As a result, our autonomous students can perfectly expand their academic vocabulary taught in our lessons on demand. Through negotiated curriculum in our English and Persian forum asynchronously, students do participate in deciding on lesson planning, task completion, and self-evaluation. By installing our recommended Google Chrome extensions for students and also teachers, you can maximize your educational experience and learner autonomy at LELB Society. Our students can study the lessons and watch the corresponding video tutorials on their own. Then they can interact with our teachers asynchronously in our comment boxes and forums to ask us their questions for immediate and detailed feedback or assistance. Okay, so another heading, public portfolio assessment equals social presence. So if portfolio assessment in education is implemented publicly, it could promote more social presence in your online community. That is because public portfolio assessment in education can increase more positive competition among students, as they might compare and contrast their performance and progress with the other students. So at LELB Society, with our students' consent, we carry out portfolio assessment publicly, which is accessible in our student portfolio assessment forum. What's more, students are welcome to give feedback to each other in their own portfolios, which is a kind of public portfolio with their consent and permission. This has been made possible by using bbPress WordPress plugin in our WordPress membership website. When students experience asynchronous learning in an interactive manner through public portfolio assessment, they get closer to the optimum realization of social presence in online learning. And if you don't know what social presence in online learning is, you just need to click on this link or click on the link provided in the description area. In fact, student portfolios that are public to the other students can augment social autonomy or interdependency compared to individual or learner autonomy or independency. Okay, accordingly, peer assessment is also operationalized alongside self-assessment and teacher assessment, because through public portfolio assessment, students voluntarily evaluate their peers or classmates' performance that is archived in their portfolios. Now, how to implement portfolio assessment? At LELB Society, we've been using one of our forums to employ student portfolio assessment in a practical manner. In this forum, through negotiated curriculum, we give our students their assignments that should be completed on a weekly basis. The practice of negotiated curriculum in our forums encourages students to take active and responsive roles in different aspects of curriculum, such as lesson planning, task completion, and assessment. LELB Society is on WordPress, so Dr. Mohammad Hussein Hariri, that is me, the founder and developer of this online community, has installed bbPress as one of the best WordPress plugins for forum functionality. In our student portfolio assessment forum, there has been a great deal of interaction between our teachers and students asynchronously. For instance, our Persian forum is one of the most active online communities for Persian learners to exchange questions and answers on how to learn Farsi free. Okay, using bbPress on WordPress, we have been able to create, manage, and organize practical portfolios for our students who have given us this consent. This is because other students and visitors can also review the stream of asynchronous activities in our forum-based portfolios. Since the students should log into their accounts to participate in our forums, create new topics, and reply to the existing topics, all their activities are recorded and archived in our growing database and on their own profile pages. Give students more autonomy and freedom. Through negotiated curriculum in portfolio assessment, students are given this autonomy and freedom to assume some responsibilities in their own learning. For instance, at LELB Society, our English and Persian students are encouraged to select the topics of their own presentations or essays. For more information, you can check the growing categories of English presentations and IELTS essay writing practice in our Bilingual Academy. Focus on process rather than product. Some students might not be familiar with the process-orientedness of portfolio assessment in education. Therefore, as a teacher or educator, you need to instill the significance of process-orientedness into your students from time to time. The information actually is self-explanatory. No further explanation is required. If taken seriously, the use of portfolio assessment can make students independent of cramming for final examinations. It means studying intensely to pass final exams, which does not yield meaningful learning or profound learning, which are totally product-oriented based on summative assessment. Gamification or gamification in education. To increase student motivation in portfolio assessment, CALL practitioners and online teachers are advised to use gamification in education, which means applying game design elements to online learning environments to increase their motivation and to stimulate them more. Gamification can augment student interaction and engagement to a very high degree. For example, at LELB Society, the number of comments, posts, pages, topics in forums, replies, etc. that any student publishes is calculated and displayed in their profile. Therefore, actually, they become more motivated to increase these statistics to show that they are really active and responsive in our community. These statistics are saved in our database and show the quantity of tasks each student has successfully completed. Each student is rewarded for completing a particular number of successful tasks, which tremendously increases their motivation to gain additional rewards through gamification. And if you are using WordPress as we are, to practice portfolio assessment in education, you can check 8 WordPress plugins for gamification to extend the functionality of your online community. Okay, so let's focus on the disadvantages of portfolio assessment in education. Like any other approach or technique, portfolio assessment is not absolutely suitable for all education systems or students. First and foremost, portfolio assessment in education is a highly time-consuming activity, especially for teachers and also students to compile and organize their tasks. On the other hand, some students, depending on their cultural background, they are not willing to create and update portfolios because they think that this responsibility must be assumed by teachers. On the other hand, some students might not have enough motivation to compile and organize their portfolios outside of class. This lack of motivation is generally perceived when students fall into the category of either young learners or beginners. Okay, now we come to the end of this article. Let me show you some actually meta boxes, additional information. This article falls into the category of TESOL issues through call, and also these are some tags or keywords. And also here is my author box. You can also join LELB Society and get your own articles published in your own name, like this one, as you can see. And this will be a very good resume or CV for you. And here are some related articles. Learn Farsi free with 400 best lessons plus videos. And also 10 best Google Chrome extensions for students and teachers. And we highly recommend them to our students. And this one is a free article, مزایای یادگیری مشارکتی در آموزش زبان دوم. And also you can leave your comments here and we will answer all of them immediately and in detail. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and take care of yourself and see you in our next video. Bye bye everybody.